Madam Clerk, will you give us the roll call?
Tom Duck,
Yeah, here.
Jesse Becker,
Here.
Jason Weaver, Ryan Bissonette, Stacy Hessel. Here. We have a quorum.
Okay, thank you. Let's look at the meeting agenda. It's been set. Anybody have any corrections or additions? to the agenda? If not, move on to public comments. Anybody here that wants to be heard that is not the agenda? Mike, anybody on? Nobody? Okay, then let's look at the minutes for the last. Second, okay. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
All right.
Hi.
Opposed, no. Carried. Very well. Great. Then we go to the TAP grant. We discussed that last month with Joan Savenka. So now we need an approval.
Just for the letter to get signed.
So what do we need the board to, this group to approve it?
And then it goes, should go to the board too, so the tweet can sign it, so it's ready for him to sign.
Okay, wonderful. Stacy, do you want to move to approve that?
Sure.
Jess, you want to second it?
I don't.
You don't want to second it?
No.
No. Well, I'll second that. Any further discussions?
I mean, I think there's a lot more to this. I mean, it's just like, hey, we support this, but I mean, for them to get approval to build this is about that trail connecting
Around the town. Yeah.
around the town. And I mean, they're just, I mean, I think we might be moving a little quickly on that. And I know it's just a letter of approval, but I mean, being on the zoning committee as well, I'm just, and also in the land force and resources committee, you know, you can't just, they talk about putting all these bridges and stuff over wetlands. And I mean, there's zoning issues and there's wetland issues that we can't just do whatever we want in some of these areas. So I think maybe we need to look into some of the, you know, restrictions on building structures over wetlands, and the implications or the, you know, the effects that might have. So I'm not in support of this at this time. I would need more information on the exact route and the effects on the wetlands and the zoning restrictions.
Okay. Okay, nobody else is on the line. Jason is not on the line yet, or Brian? Okay. Okay, so we have a motion. Second, any further discussion? Stacy, you have any comments?
I don't.
Okay, now all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed?
Nay.
Okay, motion is carried. So we'll send it on to the full board. And I think we have a copy of the letter that Tweed proposes to send. Okay, then look on the codification update. Tom, are you going to give us that?
Yeah, just again, in each committee, this is on the agenda just to make sure that everyone is aware that the code has been put forth, the final proofs. That's the link to it. So please review it as board members and department directors are reviewing as well to make sure everything is in there and correct. And then that'll move to the board. Final approval.
Anybody else have any questions? Stacy, Jesse?
No.
No. Okay, thanks, Tom. Okay, let's move on to the next item, which is Surrey County Fair. Anybody here from the fair? Okay, good.
So Rick Christian, Surrey County Fair President. As of right now, we're about 95% planned for the fair. Counting we're left to plan for the fair this summer. It's just little filler stuff, kids acts. We have a fundraiser planned for June 11th at the fairgrounds. We did our fair social in the past. This year we're changing it and doing something at the fairgrounds instead, which will be a barn dance and same kind of live auction, silent auction, different stuff, band, food. So trying to utilize using the fairgrounds a little more than paying for renting a space to have a fundraiser. Okay. So and then that money will go towards some of the other improvements that we want to do at the fairgrounds.
What changes are you gonna have this coming year as opposed to last year?
For the fair itself?
Yeah.
This year we're not doing the horse pull again this year. We're doing a different kind of car race that, our producer came up with. It's something unique to the state, which will be a figure eight race and then like an autocross where we'll build small jumps in the track and be an oval track. So we'll be doing that bull riding on Saturday night again. And then, Sunday will be the demolition derby, which has been a pretty good draw.
Do you have any fundraisers going on for the fair?
June 11th will be our fundraiser, and we usually do it in February.
Okay,
Last year we didn't hold it, and then this year we decided to change it, do something different.
well, good luck. Anybody, any comments?
Do you have the band or the music venue for the fair yet?
Yep. So Thursday night, the church group is going to do its family night on Thursday night. So the church group is going to do music again, but then Friday night and Saturday night will be Bear Creek Band.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments, questions? Stacy? No? Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on then to the University of Wisconsin. All right.
So I wanted to update you on the 4-H positive youth development position. So we had it posted, we extended it. We have a couple candidates that we interviewed last week that we're going to move forward to the second rounds on January 18th. So next Tuesday, interviews will be at 1:30 and 2:45. Join us. I know Tom volunteered. So, but if anyone else, tradition holds. Usually there's someone from the committee that, I shouldn't say usually. In the past, there have been people from the committee who've been involved in providing input for us as we hire. It's clearly our hire, but we do want our county partners to be involved in that and provide any feedback. So if you're interested and want to participate in that, let me know. And we're going to do it here. It will be in person and virtual. So we'll have people across this, a couple people across the state that will be involved as well. So let me know about that. The other update that is important for this committee is our support staff, who's been shared with forestry, is moving to a different position. And so in my 8 years of extension, this will be our 8th support staff, I think. And so we're going to try and figure out if there's a better way and more efficient way to onboard someone to help us with the support that we need. So we'll meet with Tom a little later today and figure out what that looks like for us. There's a position kind of in the hopper right now that is a shared, it's a state person that I would hire, not specific for each county, but shared across county lines to better support 4-H. So Barron County and Washburn County are on board with doing that right now. Burnett's waiting on a resignation or retirement, I should say, before they'll have funds for it. And I spoke with Russ County Friday, and they're interested in it too. And it would just be a support staff that would be shared across county lines to really support 4-H, because all of my educators in 4-H are really working together to provide opportunities for education. And so trying to be a little bit more efficient with like one person that has to know 4-H online, one person that can do newsletters, one person that can do that volunteer support versus 5 different people in 5 counties doing it different ways. So that's what I'll be talking with Tom about today too. Of course, over the years, the support staff funding has been decreased. We used to have a full-time person with benefits and the cost for that. And then we went to a part-time person, then we went to shared across departments, which I understand and makes sense, but that just, our budget has decreased. So the idea then now of providing a different kind of support is going to cost us more than a couple $1,000, which is in our budget right now. So we'll be talking about that and more to come. So those are the 2 big things, I guess, and I certainly love the conversation. There you go.
Okay, any questions?
How do you utilize the school for any of that volunteer work? Do you utilize the school at all for any of that work? You know, we have Northern Waters, which is a learning center that they could do a lot of independent studies, so they could be assisting you. We have work to school programs. You know, so I'm just wondering, you know, 4-H and UW Madison or UW Wisconsin should be in the schools. So how are you working with the schools?
How are we working with them to?
To assist
Fill the
you and
position?
then, well, to assist you at all or to get involved at all.
So the 4-H positive youth development educator can work in part of our visioning sessions that we did was to provide some after school programming and vendor partnerships with those kinds of organizations in the county. And so that's certainly our hope to be more involved with, I would say, after school programming or other kind of youth development programming. In other counties, there's some, the educator also works with like Northwood School and a bike outside leadership programming right now, skiing and other kinds of youth development, not just 4-H. And so that's our hope.
So you're saying it's not in this, it's not, there's nobody actively in the school coming to the courthouse and working with you at all? Okay, got it.
Mr. President, I just saw them, yeah.
And it's an interest, I guess we could, well, we could figure out if there's a better way to do that with volunteers.
Well, it's a school to work program, so it would
Yeah,
give them
yeah.
the opportunity to see what, you know, the students, the high school students that
Yeah.
could be involved.
Yeah.
So I just want you to recognize that program and work with the guidance counselors.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Okay, Jesse, you have any questions?
No.
Ryan, I see you've joined us. Do you have any questions?
I don't. I apologize for being a little late, so, but I'm here.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's move on then to the Hayward Lakes Visitor and Convention Bureau. Sherry's on.
Good morning. January, I usually like to just kind of do a recap of what worked and what didn't work, or what who we reached with our marketing. So I have a handout, it's page 7 in your agenda. Lots of downloads again. We had over 161,000 downloads of our vacation guide. And then this year we printed 70,000, but we ran out. So we did reorder another 3,000, which we ended up using. So it was exciting to see that. That's the paper product is still growing. Website referrals, the top 5 I have listed there: Travel Wisconsin, Facebook, the Snowmobile and ATV Alliance, the Chippewa Flowage, and then ATV Hayward. And that means people are looking at our site. These are the top other, like if they're not directly typing in haywardlakes.com, these are referrals we're getting from other websites. So that means they're on Travel Wisconsin and they find us. Print referrals, this is actually, we're still doing some small print ads and different things. And top one is Midwest Living, AAA Living, Midwest Outdoors, On Wisconsin Outdoors, and then the Pioneer Press. So the pages that they're looking at when they get to our site, the top page is the webcam, which I think a lot of people just keep on their desktop when they're working and they just glance to see what the trails look like or if it's sunny or rainy or whatever. And then, so actually number 1 really is lodging, but like I said, a lot of people keep that webcam on every day. Then it's the outdoor report people are looking for, information on attractions, and then fishing. Now I shouldn't have had fishing over in my page views. Okay, so activities are the top page for activities is snowmobiling is number 1. And again, I think that's because conditions change so much and people are hitting that page more than they do other pages. And then fishing is number 2, fall color tours is number 3, hiking, and then biking. And then it's interesting to see how they find our web address, which is good because 52% are actually just looking on a search engine. So they're typing either Hayward, Hayward Lakes, and then they're finding us. Referrals are 10%, and that's kind of what I referred to up at the top there. 26% are directly typing in Hayward Lakes, so they've actually remembered or are referring to something. 9% we get with paid searches, and then about 3% is through social media, or if we're doing like a email, direct email or something like that. So then the people who are looking at our site, 38% are from Wisconsin, with the top city being Milwaukee. And then 20% are from Illinois, top city being Chicago. Third, Minnesota, 18%, with Minneapolis being the top city. And then we've got Iowa is the next biggest state. And then a lot of other little states are less than 2%, but California would be the 5th highest state. And then Virginia, Indiana, Florida, Texas. Website viewers are 56% are males between the ages of 55 and 64. Then also how they're finding our information. So 42% of the people are looking on their desktop, 54 are using their mobile phone, and then about 4% are on a tablet. And our social media followers, Facebook is up about 16% from a year ago, and Instagram is up 17% from a year ago. And then I posted some of the bigger, or I put on here some of the bigger posts and how many people we had that were looking or seeing our information. So we had that Outside magazine, which we did, Jesse kind of mentioned like, hey, how can we capitalize on this? So we did actually post it again. So we did reach over 80,000 people with that Outside magazine article. We've been doing a Lake Day contest this summer, and we reached over 15,000. And then we did a post in Facebook when our new vacation guide came out, and we reached 9,400 people. And then right now we're doing the Sled Sawyer 2022 snowmobile contest, and we've reached 9,000 so far, but that is an ongoing promotion that goes till the end of February. And then the top Instagram posts that people, or things that people were watching, was when we were doing Facebook Live last year. We did the live because we didn't go to any sports shows last year, so that was very popular. And then we did the member spotlight videos, and depending what member it was, we got between 3,000 and 10,000 views. So that was a really good promotion, which we will continue into next year. And I'm not sure, Lynn, if you're able to hit that link and we can watch that video. It's real short, and it just kind of highlights the year.
We here at Hayward Alliance, Convention Bureau, thank all our members who participated in our Hayward Spotlight videos this year. We would also like to thank all the visitors that came to our beautiful sites of the Northwoods. We hope you made lasting memories and will return soon. This review is just a small illustration of the beauty and hospitality in the Hayward Lakes area. We invite you to stay tuned for more spotlights in the coming year ahead, and visit haywardlakes.com when you're looking to plan your next visit.
Thank you for that. So, and then we also have another website. It's atvhayward.com, and that's kind of at the bottom there. Our users up about 13% from a year ago, and 65% are males, 53% are the ages of 45 to 64. Top cities again are Chicago, Minneapolis, Milwaukee. Top referrals come from Hayward Lakes, and then the Snowmobile Alliance, ATV Snowmobile Alliance, and then Travel Wisconsin. So any questions about kind of what marketing happened last year?
Stacy, Jesse, Ryan, any questions?
No, I like the video. Look nice.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Thanks. That was Sherry. That was great. Okay, let's move on then to Northwest Regional Planning. We have a report from Shelley. Okay, then we'll go on to economic development. Mike is here. Yes, an update.
Yes, good morning. Well, I started the December report with some forest economy data, just to remind us all how important that is to our area. I'm sure the Forestry Committee keeps up on all of these things, but I wanted to highlight a couple of things that are currently going on. The state legislature and forestry professionals all met at the last week in December to address what they call the crisis situation. But there are a number of very positive things going on that should be transpiring in the coming months. One is a large industry cluster has been formed, headed by the Wisconsin Paper Council, Great Lakes Great Lakes Timber Professionals, DNR, UW Stevens Point. They're in the final running for a $100 million proposal to the Economic Development Administration to address some of the changes going on in the industry, from paper to packaging, which is going on, and to diversify the overall statewide economy. The Verso Mill, which has been in the news so much in the last year or two, that's been purchased by a European packaging company, which I won't try to pronounce. So there'll be some action there and some markets evolving. The Park Falls Mill, which certainly is of regional significance, has been sold to a liquidator. There's still some discussions going on with a cooperative that had proposed to purchase it, but it does look like liquidation could be likely. $500 million investment was made in Green Bay for a packaging mill, which would create some new markets for container board and construction projects. And on the transportation side, there has been Wisconsin Central Railroad has been purchased by a cooperative that will sort of reinstate a lot of the short lines that moved products around, maybe alleviating some of the trucking issues. So it's something that worth watching. It's important to Sawyer County on many fronts. In the Heart of the North Legislative Day, the 4-county effort to just promote issues in these counties, that will be one thing that will be affirmed to important to these four northern counties of Barron, Washburn, Sawyer, and Rusk. So that'll be happening in February. The Economic Development Corporation met in December with the Tribal Governing Board to renew the partnership and secure ongoing funding, which was approved. There was a very good discussion about ongoing collaboration, some of their priorities, broadband. Broadband certainly is on their mind, and food sovereignty, the whole range of issues, as you could imagine. We continue to promote the Wisconsin Main Street Broadband Grant Program. It's a statewide program handled through Northwest Regional Planning. To date, 16 Sawyer County businesses have received $10,000 grants. I believe that's still the most in Northwest Wisconsin, and that is open till June 30th. So if you know someone that's moving into vacant commercial real estate. There can be that funding for their lease, their rent, or any general operating thing. So it's still a good opportunity through the end of June. I did want to mention the seasonal and recreational housing. Data just came out that shouldn't be surprising, that 47+% of the houses in our county are seasonal or recreational. And we're 5th highest in the state in that regard. As you can imagine, that creates some opportunities and challenges, but we have to always continue to be assessing what that means to our local economy, whether it's their consumerism, their patterns, their, the housing issues, et cetera. There was a study done by the previous Economic Development Corporation in 2007 to assess their impact on Sawyer County businesses, and certainly way back then it was considered significant. We continue to recognize that as both a challenge and an opportunity. The Economic Development Board is continuing to, go into 2022 with setting their goals, the budget, some strategic planning. And we continue to meet with some developers, the one you heard from, the big resort developer. And just this week, I'm meeting with a developer that is proposing some housing here in Hayward that would be more mid-range, not the low-income housing, but it certainly would be needed stocks for professionals moving to the area. So we're hoping to support that in whatever way moving forward. I'd be glad to answer any questions anyone has.
How often does your board meet?
They meet monthly.
Okay, and can you tell us who's on that board?
It's a pretty diverse board. We have, you want the individual names or
How many
representation?
are on the board?
Well, it's down to 17 now, I believe. They are recruiting a couple new board members to come on, and the tribal governing board was recommending a couple additional as well. So that's part of going into this year, is sort of board development and strategy development and stuff. So it's probably the biggest asset that the organization has is the expertise represented in their board of directors.
I'm still on the board. Oh, yeah. So who else is on the board? Just curious. Stacy?
I'm on the board.
That's
Yeah, and then it's bankers. There's just Craig Olson from the school. There's just a really diverse group.
How many are on from the tribe?
I think that there's four or five, but not, and in this group, not everybody shows up. So
Yeah.
every month is different on who shows up, but there's a list of representatives that we hope show up.
Tweed is on the board, and Michelle Bodine are the official members, but they're recruiting at the recommendation of the tribe of some additional members to represent it.
Okay. Thanks, Mike. All right, Jesse, you have any questions?
Nope.
Brian, any questions?
Nope.
No. Okay, thanks, Mike. Let's go on then to the motorized trail.
Well, I retired as a trail coordinator for the Sawyer County Snowmobile ATV Alliance. This is January 1st. For replacements now, as an alliance, we're not sure whether we're going to have another trail coordinator or we have a government committee that we're trying to work things out. So this should be my last report for this committee here. But for my replacements, I got a couple of young ladies here, much better looking than I am here. So Kathy LaRue and Erin Metcalf here. So they'll be coming here giving reports. As an alliance, we hope to still continue being on the agenda here to give our motorized reports on what our trail conditions are. So, of course, in the future, maybe we'll just be sending emails there on what the reports are. But for right now, we want to have some face-to-face contact so you know what the alliance is all about, what we bring into the area. So going to the report itself, our snowmobile trails are all open in Sawyer County. We have 20 different lakes that we cross, and they're all staked. Everything's been in real good condition. A lot of very positive comments on it. for the statewide, only the northern, probably quarter of the state is open for snowmobiling. So there's very limited other places to go. So it's been great here. This past weekend, we hosted the AWSC, Association of Wisconsin Snowmobile Clubs at Flat Creek. Had a very good turnout for that. Saturday morning, we did some trail rides there. We had about 45 people that we did guided trail rides for from the AWSC. Plus, we had a lot of the people there that just went out on their own snowmobiling. I had a banquet Saturday night. We had Tom Tiffany and Janet Bewley attended that and gave input on our snowmobiling there through government. We had about 90 people for the banquet here Saturday night. So overall, things have been going great with the snowmobiling. No problem. So, any questions? I had to beat you there on retirement there. So.
Could you get me the contact information for the ladies? Thank you.
So the trails are in good shape?
Yes, very good shape.
Yeah.
And a lot of very positive comments from, like I said, the AWC is made up of representatives from all the counties there. So very good comments from them on how good the trails were up here.
Okay, Jesse, any questions at all?
Yeah, are you still on the NORTAC or?
Yes.
Okay.
I won't be at the forestry meeting on Wednesday, but I will be. I talked to Tweet about Nortec. I will continue with that. Yeah, I'm also involved with several clubs, ATV clubs and snowmobile clubs. I will be still attending some of the government meetings pertaining to them, but not so much as a coordinator for the Alliance. So not getting out completely, still getting somewhat involved.
Brian, do you have any questions?
First, I just want to make a comment that, you know, I've always liked working with Don. I appreciate everything you've done. I give you retirement about 2 months before you're back. All I would ask is provide my contact information and Henry's to the new girls that'll be taking your place. If you could, please.
Okay, good.
Will do.
Thanks, Brian.
And we're still working out how we're gonna do contacts with all the different entities that we're dealing with and issues that come up and who's gonna take care of it. And so that our committee is still working on there.
Good.
So,
Yeah. Big shoes to fill. So thanks for all your help. You know,
thank you.
it's important. Okay. Okay, then I've submitted to you guys the letter from Ben Pop as far as the rookie's concerned. Basically, they've closed registration now at 10,500 skiers. And also, they've now torn down all of the bleachers at the Lumberjack Bowl, and they're gonna be replaced with aluminum bleachers, and they've sent the form into the state, and they'll start that in the spring. So we're gonna go back now to some public comments. We missed Molly from the library. She's come in. So Molly, the floor is yours.
Okay. So can everybody hear me okay? I have a newsletter that I sent ahead of time to everybody, and it's kind of an introduction since I haven't attended this committee before. And I included, I think the slant that we want to do here is to keep you informed about library programming that not only brings in locals, but also people who have second homes here and tourists. A lot of people use the library Wi-Fi, and right now, because of the whole COVID ordeal, most of our programs are online, or a combination of online and self-serve, you may call it. We have the one inline program we have every Tuesday is story time for the very young children, up to 5 or 6 before they go to school. And the other programs we've had have been, as listed here, we had a Christmas movie challenge that was pretty popular. All you have to do is offer food as an incentive, and it seems like people will sign up for it. And we had a really interesting program on NASA that several of the libraries in our system participated in. Right now, there's a big boggle board that we keep changing monthly on the front windows. So people, it's called passive program. People can attend and do it on their own. And the only downside of that is if it's outside the library, it's hard for us to keep track of how many people participate. My board meetings are actually the day after this meeting. So sometimes you might hear things before my board does, but I'll just do my best to keep you informed. Oh, the Nature Park Trail is one of our most popular things. And even during the winter, we're doing something called Story Walk. And I had talked about it a little bit at the budget meetings last fall. And what we do is every so many feet, we have 2 pages of a story, a large children's book. And the parents and their kids can hike around the library trail and read a book at the same time. And that's been really popular. It's a little bit pricey to put together, so we've been trying to get donations to help. And the school, Hayward School System, is letting us do the laminating there, which saves a lot of money because we don't have a big format laminator. And oh, the audio trail, Emily Stone from Cable put together a 4-season audio guide of the trail so that people can listen to it when they're walking it, if they're interested in flora and fauna. And right now you're not going to see a whole lot of that. One other thing I just wanted to touch on today is that I did receive a $10,000 grant after Christmas. And it's specified the people would like that it be used for children and technology, which are 2 areas, of course, we need money. And I have an idea that I've had for 3 years. And I would like to take the children's room, since it's so large that kids have a tendency to run. As soon as they hit the door, they run all the way up to the windows. So one way to kind of handle that is we're thinking we could move all of the children's books over to one side. And then there are these glass partitions that are on runners on the floor and on the ceiling. And you can, if you want the room to be entirely open for large groups, you just push the glass panels all the way down to one end and they fold up, stay out of the way. And if you need extra meeting rooms, which a lot of times we do, there aren't a whole lot of choices of meeting rooms for groups in town. So we can do a combination of provide an extra meeting room around the fireplace area in the kids' room, and then have a built-in maker space, which just about every library, but ours has it, larger library. And we would have things like a sewing machine stored in a cabinet, science projects, all kinds of things that all the materials would be there for groups and even individual children, their parents to go in and work on together, a creative space. So I know that this particular donation isn't going to cover it, but it's a good start. And it would be really good for the community to have an extra meeting room as well. So we're working on that.
Good. So you're going to provide us monthly with these reports?
Yes, I was asked to do that at the final budget night? Yeah, and I really appreciate the chance to do this.
And your trails, who maintains those trails for you now in the winter?
It's a combination of people. The former judge was grooming it the last couple of years. I have to get a hold of him and see if he is still even grooming trails. They're used for snowshoeing, and he had groomed them for some skiing too. And they connect right, you just have to cross the street to connect with the hospital trails. So it's just part of the whole system.
Thank you. Any questions, Stacy?
So is that $10,000 additional to what was matched on the night of the budget?
It's a different
It's different.
$10,000.
Okay,
And it's
all right.
specified for children and technology.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the 10,000 that I found out about that day of the budget meeting is so we could improve our wages for our staff.
Okay, Justin, any questions?
Well, I mean, this isn't on the agenda. You announce it as a public comment, so I don't know if we're allowed to ask questions during
Oh,
public
yeah.
comment, so.
In the future,
To be on the agenda.
yeah.
We just have to decide that it's kind of a unique. Okay. So, okay, thanks, Molly. So we'll look forward to seeing you monthly then.
Mhm.
Okay, future agenda items. Anybody? Stacy?
Could I have added to the agenda the Surrey County Historical Society? We had done that for a while, and then now one of the students at the school at Northern Waters is putting a push to raise money for the Historical Society. So I think we should make sure that we're staying up to date on that.
Each month or just next month?
I don't know if if it's our entity, it should be each month.
Well, I guess it seems like there wasn't much activity down there from their end.
No, but we could ask for that report.
Sure.
I mean, if it's on the agenda, we could ask for it just like we do the fair and the library. I mean, I don't, if they're asking for money and our name is associated with it, I think that we should, if they're doing a public push.
And they are doing that?
A student at the Northern Water School is doing that. He's doing a GoFundMe for the Surrey County Historical Society. So I just think that it should be something we keep our eyes on in case we start getting,
So who do we?
bogged down
who do
with
we- who do we
negative.
Contact down there.
and that would be Casey or Donna Yackel.
Oh,
Jim Ferguson was the one that was provided to me.
I think he showed up at one
One
meeting
meeting.
last July or something, and then it was on future agenda items, and I don't think he ever showed up again.
But I think those two would, they help me with the murals and they've been fantastic with any
You'll
questions
give me
that I have.
contact information.
I could try to find that, sure.
Donna's
He
on
has
my-
my,
they were-
Donna. He's related to Donna.
and
He should have
Donna's
her.
on my board, and I'll see her tomorrow, actually. Do you want me to?
I think it's just a county, I think it's
Okay,
economic,
got it.
but thank you for your volunteering.
Yeah, okay, well, if they want our help, they should cooperate, you know.
Well, I don't know if they want our help. I'm just saying we should stay up to date on it, especially if it's called Sawyer County Historical Society and then a student is doing this. I don't want there to be negative reaction, like, well, why isn't the county board involved in this? So
Okay.
I think just keeping up to date on that might be a good thing.
Okay, we'll put it on the agenda. Good,
Thank you.
okay, Thank you. Okay, then, Tom, any correspondence we should be talking about?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments? We'll be adjourned. Thank you much. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.